Hello all, this is Hart, and I'm the chair and founder of the Disabled Artists Foundation. And if you've been along for the ride all day long, it has been a lot of fun. I've attended every single one today and have learned countless tips and tricks. So if you missed one, come back, take a look in the content below, in the description box below, and you can see the link to everyone's channels. A lot to learn from each of them. Don't forget to click on their subscribe buttons and ring their bell, because they have some great stuff to teach. And there is more, there are more, is more, are more, is more. Anyway, many more to come following this one. At the end of my particular one at 5 p.m. or just before 5, so we don't run into the next person, we're going to be drawing the entry or for the 50-50 sweepstakes. So what that means is if dAFi, and I don't do this, Darla takes care of all of the back work for that, and she'll come on live and do that at the end. If you haven't picked up an entry yet, it's www.disabledartist.org/entry, and someone will drop a link in a chat in a little bit. In mine, and I'm just going to, and it's $5 for 5 entries. The reason we don't do it $1 for 1 entry anymore is because PayPal took 51 cents for each one of those that someone did just $1. And that's ridiculous. So we're not going to do that. And so PayPal doesn't need it. dAFi, the hardest need it. So that's how that's going to go.
We have a 1-hour dinner break as soon as you're done, so you won't run into anybody else.
Oh, we won't. So we can do it live at 5. Done.
Live at 5, just like the news.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it'll be live at 5. Okay, so let's pretend all this stuff is in its little plastic packaging. But what I'm going to work on today is the iData kit for anyone who bought in yesterday's auction, filled out the bid form and said, yes, I have an emotional or physical disability. Yes, if I spent more than $15 in the auction, would I be willing to accept a gift from dAFi to help inspire me? However the words are in there, it says something like that. So the people who won this time won the auctions when they say me, or won the auctions when they bid high enough to win them and spend more than 15, then and by the way, why is it 15? It helps me cover the cost of shipping them extra goods, right? We don't want to be just rolling the money out to everyone. You don't have to have a financial need to be in the iData program. It stands for Inspire Differently Abled Through Arts. But here's the kit. So a long while back, I had an image that I just loved the way the girl's face looked. And I have an app that I can convert the image into lines, and then I added extra lines. And so everyone's going to get my goofy face, whatever you want to call this, but this face makes you want to paint it more wild, less natural, or at least that's how I see it. Or you can have a picture of one of my daughters, which is so funny because the image like this without the nose makes her look like a different one of my daughters. You get a piece of tracing paper, because let's say you don't want to do either one of those, but there's something in a magazine you'd really like to trace. And you can use any one of these 3 as the top. Then you put your carbon paper in the middle. Yes, sirree, Poppy, this is old school. No, it's not actually carbon. So if you watercolor with it, it will spread. But if you use acrylics with it, you'll be just fine. Then there's a blank piece of paper. Why? Because carbon is the carbon paper, whatever makes it, is really messy. If you accidentally scratch something, I can see my finger smudge on it. So I just put that there. But hey, make it your painty whatever if you want to. And everybody also gets an 8x10 canvas board. Now, this is similar to what artists get in their kits when they have the painty style kits. And it's something that we've been giving out for a long time. Someone who volunteered once mentioned that, and we've been doing it pretty much ever since. And Happy Packers get that too, which is a different program we have. So I'm setting the canvas aside because that's not what I normally, oh yeah, they also get a scratch off. So I'm not going to be messing with this today. Everyone gets a different image. Hopefully you got a different one this month than last month. And there won't be any in the future months of that one because I ran out. You get 4 random paint colors. Why random? Because when you're inspired, you're not doing what you normally do. So I want you to limit yourself, because sometimes when you limit yourself, you end up doing more than what you thought you could, and versus setting unrealistic expectations on yourself. And I'm not a great painter. You're going to learn that today. I sent a single paintbrush. Some are pointy, some are small, some are big, and some are my own because I ran out of giving everyone paintbrushes. And you also receive a stylus. Is that what this is called, Jean? I'm horrible with words. I think it's called a stylus. She's muted. So it is it
Yes,
has.
it is. I'm sorry.
Okay. It has a rounded tip, and then it has also a different rounded tip. Why is this in there with 2 different tips? I never know. If you want to be inspired to do dot painting, maybe instead of painting the face with a paintbrush, you want to sit and actually dot paint the whole thing. Go do it. Go do pop art like that. I did bring this. This is not in the kit. And I also brought my own paintbrushes because I know myself enough to know that when I'm halfway through, I'm going to go grab more paintbrushes. That's just me. I brought some water, and I'm just going to work like this. Now, what am I going to do first? Tell you that it's our 5th birthday. I can't believe we're 5 years old already. So much has happened in these 5 years. I'll give you the very quick story as I take my carbon paper, lay it down, decide how I want her face on here. I'm not even going to get any real wood in this, am I? I like the ear right there, though. So I'm going to keep her ear on here. There we go. So I do get her lips. I get a bit of her chin. Let me make sure. Might be more fun to shape her face this way. Oh yeah, I like that way better. Okay. So and all I'm doing is taking my, it helps.
Put the carbon paper in there.
I was just going to say that. Oh gosh. I'm telling you what am I going to do here? All right, carbon paper in between. Make sure you have the shiny side down, y'all. Okay. So when I was it was December 2017. What happened was it was one of the worst, and I have a migraine that never goes away. It never goes away. When that month came, sometimes the migraine's worse than others, and sometimes it's better. Well, that particular month was one of the worst months ever, and I found myself crafting nonstop. At that time, I was into making cards, painted cards, paper crafting cards. It just was a thing I couldn't bring myself to even stop doing. And by the way, these lines are meant to be messy, so if you mess it up, don't worry about it. Don't stress. There's no mistake in painting. And so I realized when I got to the end of that month that, I haven't always had it easy financially in my life. There were times in my life long, long ago where things were really tough, and there's no way that I could have afforded to craft as much as I did during that time. I mean, I wouldn't have even been able to keep up on the glue. And I'm sure you guys have met some people like that in your life, or maybe you don't even know, and they're just crafting like this and you don't even know. Well, I wanted to go find a foundation that helped other people get the craft supplies they need. And I just assumed, there's a foundation for everything. There's a nonprofit for everything. So I just assumed there was something out there and I was going to go support them. I looked nationwide and I couldn't find anything that wasn't just kind of using them. And so, and I don't want to say using them. There are some where, they help disabled sell their art and stuff like that. So that's different. It's not necessarily using, but I don't know. I can't put my words to it. I wanted it to be where the entire organization was all about helping people to be able to get the basics like glue and paint and the stuff to make jewelry, which is funny because I had the hardest time getting jewelry as a donated item until one day cousins came along and woo, they are amazing.
I need to interrupt you for a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Am I getting the whip?
No, Arlene and Laura, straighten up.
Are they? That's funny. All right. I just wanted to make sure I had the eyes before I went down lower. I don't want to spend all my time tracing this. All right, there we go.
I can't let them fight and not be a part of it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, they're fine.
I know. I just had to add to it. See, there, I'll go get them.
Well, I get to, and I'm going to, so I get to, I don't know, a week into January or less. And I was frustrated because I never found anyone who was able to do that. So I just decided, well, I guess I'm going to go make a nonprofit. And here we are 5 years later. And I moved my paper a little bit. So we might lose the jaw. So I'll draw it lightly. Oh, it's fine. All right. That looks terrifying on paper, though, doesn't it? I mean, on the board. Oh, goodness. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just give myself a little mark here and a little mark there and consider it good enough. This will probably be better on canvas, but the only other thing wood I have is my noggin, and that's just how this is going to be. But let's go ahead and just get started. Jean, is she going to have, I think she's going to have blue eyes. And I think I'm going to use blue as my version of white, making this too. So I'm just going to go around and toss blue in a bunch of places. And I did bring my palette. Oh, maybe I'll do green. I like the idea of the green eyes. I'm going to use my palette later for mixing, maybe. And let's just imagine this is going to go right there. What I like about painting on the wood, though, is it's going to absorb a lot. Let's give her a little blue right here, too. This is a little white right here.
So remember, if you haven't subscribed to all of our wonderful participants, go in and subscribe. And by subscribing to Cares, you see all the activity. One of the girls in there could put in our Inspire channel too. That's where we have a lot of videos on just lots of fun things that can inspire you into something else.
Yep. You may never know what your favorite hobby is until you try a whole bunch of different kinds of things.
Exactly. Yeah. I have them scared with my whip now.
You just wanted to bring your whip out?
Mm-hmm.
Feeling like this
I
part.
want to say hello and thank you all for joining us.
Who do we have in the box? Or is it so many in the box we're not going to do the howdy doody?
No. but know that I see you, all of you, and I appreciate you here. Care appreciates you here. The whole
Without a
group
doubt.
does.
Yeah, you guys have no idea how much I appreciate you guys, because I would not want to run a nonprofit with the government leaning over my shoulder saying, well, if you don't do blah de blah de blah, and I'm not sure if they do that or not, but I don't want to be in a position where I would worry about it. And
Let me
so let's
read you what Arlene wrote. This is so sweet. All the dAFi ladies are awesome. They do so much just because they want to help. Simply an amazing team. And
Aw,
she's right. We have an amazing team. It's really nice because we all work well together. And
we
so
do.
far, knock on wood, we haven't all pissed each other off yet.
Are you sure? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
that I know of.
Oh, I'm just kidding. You guys, I am not a fantastic artist. I just wanted to be able to bring the freedom of creating to the people who may never have experienced that, because it's expensive to even go try a new hobby, much less switch hobbies, you know? And then paper crafting, some of the budgets that we've learned about just in them qualifying to become a artist, I don't know how they can afford to get the food enough on the tiny amount of food stamps some people get, or the tiny amount of funds that they are able to live on. I don't know how they do that. So the idea of buying glue instead of, I mean, they'll get the toilet paper, but the idea of buying glue instead of milk, it's not an option. So all the angels, you guys are what make it possible to even to to even give them an opportunity to do this. I think I want a little blue right there. I'm not even following my lines, but I don't care. That's what it feels like it needs to be. And I'm going to do a little blue down here. I want it to feel like I'm coming around, going up. My hubs, um, shockingly, shortly after I created dAFi, um, he fell into heart failure, uh, brought on by AFib, which is atrial fibrillation, whatever, where your heart doesn't beat right. And it exhausted his heart. And he went all the way down to 10% in July of 2018. Our very first auction fundraiser was in August of 2018. And yeah, so you guys have been through the worst with me personally, actually. I'm going to like how this is going to come out. I can already see that. And that's rare that I would say that so early on in something. But we'll see. I think maybe a little blue right here. It needs to come down here so you feel like you have, yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about where to put the color. I still remember getting the,
You have a train of thought?
I lose it all the time. That's the only way I know I have one. All right, so I'm going to go for the yellow because I want to feel like I'm brightening some things up. And you guys, whatever your 4 colors are, just lay them out. You don't have to have them in a particular order. But I feel like the yellow wants to come all the way down. I think I'll use my yellow as like where I feel like it would be shiny. And I was worried that the carbon was going to bleed with this, and it doesn't seem to be doing that.
Isn't it graphite?
Yeah, it's graphite, like a pencil.
There's so much love and thankfulness and weirdness in our box.
And weirdness.
Yeah.
That's funny. I have something for you to do, Jean.
Okay.
Are you ready? This is
Uh-huh.
what you're going to do in the background. Let me tell you how many I have real quick. So I'm not going to send the paints with it to keep the price down. But
Uh-huh.
what they'll get, and I'm going to do some giveaways. What they're going to get is one of my lady, one of my daughter, one of the tracing paper, one of the graphite paper, which is acts like carbon. Of course, the backing paper, so your graphite paper can rub on something, and an 8x10. Okay, so they're going to get one of these kits, and I'm going to tell you how many people, and you can give it away however you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. I made 9 kits.
Okay.
And this is how many are left over, Jean, after I made all the happy packs, all the iData kits, and a bunch for the artists.
Awesome.
So yeah, that just makes me
So I can ask any question I want, huh?
any question you want, Jean.
Okay. So I want you to pick a number between 1 and 75, but you have to answer this question. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, wait a minute. This is a biased question. No,
That
it's a
is kind of a defy question because we're opposite sides of this.
we are.
Okay.
What how do you decide the winner? You better put in there a number. Pick a number.
I did. I said
Oh,
that.
okay. I missed that part. Let's put a
Yeah.
little brightness.
Okay. No, let's not do that because y'all are in here to not see the Super Bowl. I'm only in here because I have to. No, not really. I was gonna want to watch the Super Bowl because it's the Chiefs.
Yeah, she's a Chiefs fan. I'm a Buccaneers fan, so we actually do like our football.
Well, they're answering it, so there we go.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's funny. I just wanted to
Okay.
tell you no as soon as I gave you the
I
yes.
know, I know you did.
You
The
know, I
Chiefs.
wonder if people even catch on to that when I do that. They probably think we've had people come up to my hubs and I sometimes because we'll go back and forth and it's really funny. And it's funny to us, and other people think we're so serious about things. I'm like, oh, come on.
So let's see what our responses are. The Chiefs, because they are all I know who is playing. That's a good answer. I don't do sports. The Eagles, the Chiefs. I don't care. The Eagles, the Eagles.
Can I vote?
No,
Halftime.
I like this one. You got to know who is playing. But Barbara, you can still put in a number. The
Yeah,
Eagles, the Chiefs.
yeah, we don't care. Put in a number. Grab one of
I
these.
was just being silly. A bunch of men. There you go. She's right no matter what. Jamie says the other team.
Oh,
So,
that's
yep,
too
that's
funny.
going to be right. Chiefs, it doesn't matter. Um, KC or the Eagles. Oh, she's telling him who it is. Sue's going to be watching the Puppy Bowl instead.
Oh my gosh, there's a puppy bowl?
Yep.
I didn't even know that existed.
The Eagles, my husband doesn't even watch sports. Someone putting in the go. No, just go for it.
Oh yeah, just go for it. Sorry, I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah. I'm just gonna read for a while, and we have the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Saints. Who are those?
That
Nope,
better
we don't
not be
know where to
Laura.
go.
She'll get put in timeout. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course, Susan's gonna say the Chiefs. Her being right there in the area. Eagles, Eagles, no sports. Puppy Bowl, no sports. Hey, all you guys putting in no sports, please put in a number between 1 and 75.
Oh yeah. No, I feel like I want a little splash of yellow right there. There we go.
Arlene says Puppy Bowl for the win. I
Puppy
love,
bowl.
Puppy Bowl for a long time. We have everyone that watches the halftime show. No sports. Okay, so everybody got the number in. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 75. Oh, I have my volume way down.
Uh-oh. You got to do it again.
Oh, I actually have it turned off. Okay. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 75. Well, it's not wanting to, so
I'll do it.
Just a minute.
Pick a number between 1 and 75.
I got it.
Okay.
35. I have to show my screen real quick so you know.
That's even better. No, that's fine.
So, the number is 35.
Who's the closest to 35 without going over? That'll have to be you.
Put in the advertisers. That's who's winning the Super Bowl for sure, for sure.
That is the truth. That is the truth. I really feel like...
I see a 31.
I think I want some orange in the nostrils there.
We probably should have waited for a go.
Well, did you put a stop in? Oh, because you didn't have a go. That's why. Trying to find the go. That's what you're saying. All right, so put that there. Maybe a little underneath to be messy.
Okay. Darla says, Candy got it right on the knot.
All right.
Dot. So, Candy, you win 1.
All right, Candy gets the first one. Can someone log that for me? Jean, can you write that down for me?
Yep. I'm in the art room. There's no paper. Just kidding.
I was like, in your art room, there's got to be paper. All right, there we go.
All right, because we have so many and we're not going to go each time for each one, we're going to do this one more time, no question, and we'll let Darla do a start because she's good at it, because that was way hard for me to go back. So, Darla, as soon as you put in the start for 1 through 75.
Trying really hard to do this with just one paintbrush. I love eyes. All right, so.
See what happens when I become silly?
I think I might get a sharp. I like you, silly. You know, I really don't know that I want the green in a whole lot of places except for maybe as a shadow. I might come back and add something to those eyes.
We're glad you're here, Rose. All of us weirdos must unite. You know, somebody could call me a weirdo and I would have to say, you say that like it's a bad thing. It's not.
Yeah, it's a good thing. We were born in 2018. It's impossible for me to believe that it's been so long already.
All right, everybody got your numbers in? Darla,
wow, this
stop in.
This does look like a shadow. This kind of works out.
I had a doctor tell me once I was normal. My response was, I've never been accused of that before.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a doctor tell me I
All
was
right.
normal.
Let's see if Siri works this time. Siri? Hey, Siri. Pick a num. Hello. Sorry. Hey, Siri. Pick a random number between 1 and 75.
A random number between 1 and 75 is 46.
Okay.
Hmm.
46. I see a 45.
45 is pretty darn close.
Yep. Okay, Darla, I'm going to make you work.
Does anybody have any questions about dAFi? Like, we use a lot of words that brand new people may not know what it is. What's a auction? What's a happy pack? What's a hardest? What's a, and feel free to ask any question or
Okay, so
go ahead.
we have one for candy, and then we still have 8 left. So, Darla, we're going to take 8. No, let's see. We're going to take 3 above. No, we're going to take the 7 above CB.
That's
As
easier, just going above or below.
right. We're just going above. So that would be Arlene.
Is it starting to at least look like a face? I don't even know. Uh, you guys, I can't wait to see what you end up doing with your colors, and I love that everybody has different colors. Let's go with, yeah, we're going to keep you thinking this is a shadow over here.
Thank you, Darla. You're so much faster than me. Arlene, Teresa, Sherry, JL. Made by Pam, Lisa, and Jamie. Thank you, ladies.
So my hubs has gotten into painting, like seriously gotten into painting, and I absolutely love that he has. And this is what inspired the kit, because he doesn't like to follow the rules of paint by number. He wants to paint it however he wants to paint it. And so, and he loves cityscapes. And a lot of the things that you find out in other places, to go shopping for are flowers and girly things, or he doesn't like that it says for children, even though I tell him it's not for children. Trust me, it's not for children. So then we started talking about using the carbon paper. Oh my gosh, I looked at my screen. This does look like a face. All right. And that's what got this to even become a thing. And so him wanting to craft for the very first time, a person who hasn't picked up, never even had art in school when he was a kid, played with crayons maybe at home, but no art in school since elementary school. Well, it wasn't even an art class, just coloring kind of thing in kindergarten. And that breaks my heart that people aren't allowed to truly embrace what they could be doing. I feel like it needs to go up here too.
Okay, don't forget to fill out the bid form if you haven't yet. That will let us get it to you correctly at the right address and get you registered for the next time you come to the auction. You only have to fill it out once a year unless something changes. Now, Kara, I see this as a globe. I see this as a world.
Do you?
Yeah, the colors just make me think of a globe.
That's going to go away as soon as I bring the red in. I just didn't want to bring all the colors in at the same time.
And Kara commented about some of our terminology. Let me see if I can cover any of that, just for those that might be wondering. I know Laura covered hardest earlier. I like to tell people too that it's just our founder's name is Hart, so it just fit, you know. Auction, that is our give back auction where the artists can make things and send them back to us, and we pay the shipping. And then we either resell them in the auctions, we use them for inspiration for kits, we use them as thank yous for all the people who shop at our events. Um, they also have some really new cool stuff. That's where they can get the stuff that's um, too big for their regular boxes or too specialized per se. Like, you know,
Gel medium.
not everyone's gonna want gel medium. Not everyone's gonna want um, this certain tool, that certain tool. You know, there's some everybody wants, and that's great. But there's some that, you know, and we do get die cut machines, so there is some really good stuff in there, some big things in there. So it's a good program. It helps with inventory control, and it lets them get the things that aren't out there for everyone.
So originally we started it because we had items donated bigger than our 13 by 10 bag when we did the 13 by 10s every month. And it helped us choose who to give those things to. And then there are some things that are just so rarely donated that, and I'm just going to pick on one that's in a box right now. And it's an odd one that you'd think that we actually would get donated, but um, what are those things called that make all the
Heat gun.
noise? The heat gun. You knew what I was talking about when I said make all the noise.
Yep.
Um, and so we don't really get those donated very often, but before we had the you can see what's in the box, then it was a great way for us to share the bigger items with folks because they could bid on that. I think I want to do the yellow in with this too. Y'all know picking on me, but I'm pretty much done with yellow, and I don't mind if it gets blended right there.
So what other words do we use a lot?
Okay, well, what does dAFi stand for?
Disabled Artists Foundation Incorporated.
And
Our mission is energized through arts.
disabled through arts.
Oh, yeah. I always forget that part because to me, I don't know. I don't see disabled as different. I just see it as they're normal people. They just, I don't know. Energized disabled through art. Our website has all sorts of information on it, and we have a new inspiration page, which I actually learned how to do, but I haven't put a single thing up there yet. I kind of forgot. What else is on our website? Our calendar with everything that's going on, including our upcoming auctions and all the cool stuff that we're going to have. Or we have a theme. Sometimes we follow it, sometimes we don't.
Okay, I didn't follow it at all in this auction.
Oh yeah, hold your britches. Karen wants to know what that it means. I don't know, Karen, but every time Karen says that we're supposed to take a drink.
I can't help myself. It's just certain words come out like that. It happens.
Oh yeah, Laura's explaining happy packers. They are artists who receive smaller, easier supplies packages, and most are local to Southwest Florida.
And the reason that it's like that is because all of the sudden in December of, oh my gosh, it was 2020. Yeah. In December of 2020, we picked up, um, well, technically it's 300 with one company and 300 with another, but we picked up a bunch all at the same time. And when we did, it was just too much for me to make that many packages. And that was before Jean was the executive director. And so it was just too much to carry on and do that many. And so I said, I've got to figure out how to do this with smaller packages. Hold on, I needed to make that one juicy because I wanted the red to be a little different.
On our website, we have, besides our calendar, we have our newsletter, which is always a good place to get more information and just some more inspiration. We have our addresses on how you can help us destash directly to us. And we have a form for volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers. By the way, if any of you are in Hobbs, America, I can use you. Just saying.
If any of you are in Fort Myers, I can use you. I mean, I don't know if you are or not, but oh my gosh, right now I am just ready for help, particularly February 23rd when I unload. But yeah, that would be nice.
We have our application up, so if you want to apply and or just see what it takes, what you need to have to apply and become a artist, that's always, I mean, it's always good to look. You never know when you're going to run into someone who needs us.
I was thinking about my painting for a second. I got to finish the story so they don't think we have 300 artists. So what happened was a couple of companies we got in touch with each other, and they had 300 people at one of them that they wanted us to be able to help, and I couldn't help them all. So we came up with a plan where I give 50 different people a package in January and July, and then a different 50 people a package in February and August, and a different 50 people a package in March and September. And so they get a package twice a year that's 13 by 10 because it was just too many all at once to do that many. And so I knew I could take on another 50, which allowed me to give 50 people joy every 6 months. I'm sorry, let me be clear. I can give 50 different people in the first 6 months of the year. Each month is different people. And then there was another company that came and there's 11 people, and another company that came that was 8 people. And so if they come in as a company with a whole bunch of people, then we give them happy packs, and where we have coordinating missions, and they are definitely within the financial need area. I think I want a little bit
Cheran
right there.
says, hold your horses. That's just about the same as hold your britches. It's just, Kara has different words than the rest of us.
I think I want a little right
She
there.
said it's turning into David Bowie, and it really is.
That's funny.
I'm trying to figure out who it reminded me of, and that's it. So we also have on our website the page to pick your own box. That's a great place for you to go in and see what's in the boxes for the artists.
Yeah,
They
what is
only,
it like to be a artist? If you want to see what their boxes that they get to pick look like, this is the first year we're having them pick the box. I love it. I love that they can pick the box.
they only get to see the top layer, so there's still some surprise element. I
Mm-hmm.
personally love packing them as tight as possible and having that surprise element when they get in there. They have a site to update their addresses and things. We have examples of the auction up. We have a page on what they can earn for their credits. And we also have helpful links up there that pertain to the artist where they could get help if needed in something that we don't do. We
Yeah.
have our bid form. We have um, a dAFi store. I'll be honest, it's not real full right now, but we're hoping to put more in if we can get more participation. And then we have more about us and the officers and our public documents, our rules of conduct, and tons of information about dAFi. It's actually a pretty good read. I'd be surprised at how many times my sister especially, and she does work for a no, blah blah blah, a nonprofit also, um, except she gets paid, but she's always looking us up to give it to somebody.
That's awesome.
So
I'm
it's really,
actually fascinated with how people find us that are artists. I always love hearing those stories on how they found us.
Mary Lou says it looks like Freddie Mercury to her. Malia says britches depends upon the day. Yeah, I agree with her. Sometimes you should say, instead of hold your britches, hold your nightgown.
That's just, you know what's worse is usually I don't even, I'm one of those people that talk without thinking, right? So I think and I speak at the same time. And so by the time Hold Your Britches comes out, I'm snickering at myself that it just came out of my mouth again. I don't like how crisp that is, so I need to fix it. I hate when I come back in and fix things because it never looks right. That's okay. I'll be fine. Oh, it'll be fine. Right there, little blue. Oh yeah, that's good right there.
So you probably catch me on the accurate more often by saying hold your nightgown than you would by saying hold your britches.
That's funny.
Especially in the next couple of weeks when I probably will be completely carless.
Oh, right. So everybody, Jean was just in an accident and very stressful, but
Yep,
she's
not ready
okay.
to take the I could keep the rental car past what insurance covers and get their price, but I don't really go out very much and I don't go every day. And $35 a day when it's home 3 days, 4 days of the week, it's just not worth it. I'll crack the whip with Gary. And Darla's posted that she's closing the 50-50 in about 5 minutes. You got
Woohoo.
5 minutes.
5 minutes for your 50-50. All right, I'm doing the finishing touches right here because I feel like it needs this yellow blip on both sides.
That's right. Arlene says Jean was impromptu off roading. And I have 4-wheel drive. You'd think it'd have done better.
All right, what is it missing? Is it missing anything?
Yeah, black outline.
Well, I do have a Sharpie. But I like that it's a messy nose. Like that's my favorite part about this whole thing is the messy nose.
It's just the eyes.
Oh,
I
so you
love the
want
rest of
just
it.
the
The
eyes.
eyes just seem to need definition, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
You know what I wish I had is a white paint pen. That's one of the things that went out with the hurricane. It's my little stack of the things on the desk. You know how you have your favorites? I gotta go get myself a new white paint pen.
Oh,
What?
Anne says, Jean, we're grateful you don't need $11,000 in repairs. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw right through the wet paint. Y'all are laughing at me, but it's fine. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I like it. But I outline everything, so I just feel like the eyes were lost in there.
Go make it juicy.
Rose says it looks like a Superman painting at a face painting booth. Yep. Valerie, Jamie, like it. Hi, T.
All right, that's all it's going to get. I don't want to do any more. Okay, maybe the lips. And I like things to be colored outside of the line. So if you guys are going, oh, you're inside of the line or you're outside of the line, I actually prefer that. I am a Dali kind of person. I wish I could have the three-dimensional feel that he's able to do sometimes. Paint's a little wet, so it's messing with my Sharpie. There. I'll just put that right there too, because it wants to be. And if it makes you feel better, I'll take my lines and go over the red with the black. So it's not such a stark red. And that's all the lines. Now I'm done. And everyone, I have to tell you this. I get so frustrated when you guys make these beautiful works of art and then you don't sign it. You got to sign your art, please. And if you're donating items for auction, they come to me. If you're donating to Hartist, they go to Jean.
You know how we have the small screens in StreamYard down at the bottom?
Yeah.
So that your image is really, really small.
Mm-hmm.
The tracing paper coming off the side looks like the person has long hair, and it's beautiful.
That's great. I think it's cool being on the wood. It definitely would paint differently on canvas because you'd have the hair. I think that because it's on a smaller surface, you've lost what makes it female, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I see Rose when she's saying the Superman at face painting. I see a superhero of some sort.
do you? I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. I think I got lucky with the colors, but I don't think it would have mattered which colors because this will make somebody go look up what the meaning of values are and get a feeling for what they want to use as their light and dark when they color regardless. And by the way, I did cherry pick which 4 everyone gets. That way, when you get your 4, everyone's going to have different 4. But when you get your 4, you're going to be able to go in and say, okay, I have one that'll work for my eyes. I have one that'll work for light areas. And one of you is going to get one with lots of skin tones, just one. Out of all the ones I made, maybe a happy packer, maybe a person in the iData program. But I think that one, I looked at it and I thought, well, okay, fine. That person gets all skin tones.
Let me answer Rose's question. She says, okay, so now I'm confused. If I were to donate something I make to dAFi, do I send it to Jean?
Oh,
if you are wanting it in an auction, you send it to Care. If you
want it in an auction, it goes to Care. If you want it to go to a Hartist, it goes to Jean because she sends to more Hartists than I do. But both of us send to Hartists and both of us also do stuff in auctions. So if you have something for both and you're saying, hey, I live in Arizona, I'm shipping it to New Mexico, that's okay. You can do that.
Exactly.
I want to test something real quick. If the scratch painting actually would work with the pointy end of this stylus. So y'all are just going to put up with me for a second. Okay, no, it doesn't. All right. So anyone who is receiving an iData kit, you'll have to get something to scratch it with. Think of it like a scratch off. I want to see how hard it is to do with a quarter. Oh, these are harder to scratch off than I thought they were. There's no messing around. It does come off though. Feel like I'm going to win something. I'm just trying to do only the flower using nothing but a quarter. See how hard that is. And the scratch off one is really meant to just make you choose what you want to expose and what you don't want to expose. And maybe you haven't done this in a long time and it's fun. You know?
Yes, Arlene. A completed item to sell usually goes to care. But if you're closer to me and you want to save on postage, then that's fine too, because I do parts of auctions.
If you think it might break and you want someone artistic to fix it, it's not me.
Yeah, send it to me. I got all kinds of glues.
Man, I gotta tell you, I felt so bad when I tinkered with that wing yesterday and moved it too much. You know, it's a beautiful work of art. I am amazed how we're able to keep dAFi going with just the angels that we have, because I'm floored at how amazing people can be, you know, versus getting stuck having to go and jump through all the hoops. And then we're able to kind of do a win-win, because so many of the people that help us also have physical challenges, and then we give them very affordable supplies. I like that. All right, so that is the messy way the flower is supposed to look. All right, fine. I don't feel like scratching any more of it also.
My scratch papers use a cuticle stick.
I'm sure I have something like that. Hold your britches, let me see. I do. You said that and I went to go grab one. Well, having the right tools makes it easier. So the pointy side of the stylus is still rounded and certainly not big enough. So let's just do his eye and it'll be fine. So whenever Darla is ready, holler for me, Jean, because I'm not looking up. But
yeah, Darla's not backstage yet.
Okay. I'm excited for the 50-50. I think this will be super exciting for someone. I do like the whole grow together thing. I really do. I mean, in a way, even doing the hop, maybe we should do more hops. This was fun watching everybody's hops today.
It really was.
It was.
We still got more.
We do. I will confess, though, I'm going to share watching the hop with the football game. I will watch both.
Yeah. Me too, because.
And if Jean starts losing, we're going to have to mute her out of the chat just in case. No, Darla's not backstage for the sweepstakes yet.
Nope.
Right, Malia? Would love to. Well, I know that so many of our folks in the box are also amazing artists. And I've got to tell you, I love putting a challenge on you guys to try to make stuff without all the fancy things, because then we can share it. And the ones I watched this morning, oh my goodness, these could all be hardest made, you know, and they can share it with them as kit ideas. And, you know, Jean, I do have wool sheets to do the one wool project that we just watched.
You have wool or felt?
I don't know. I thought they were felt. No, it's felted wool. That's what it's called.
Okay. Yeah, because wool and felt and felted wool, I prefer what she used with the felted wool.
Okay. Well, I think that is a great one. And I'm just going to take her video from this morning, even with our chat and the fun stuff there. That's fine. I'm going to take her video from this morning and
yeah,
load that straight away with the sheets. They can cut their own sheets to whatever size they want to make the book,
Oh, yeah.
you know? And so I'll just give them the sheets. I think I just only want to do the flowers. Is that okay?
That's okay.
It's okay. And just so you guys know, Care never takes the time to craft. Do you have any idea how long it's been? You know, the last time I did it, Jean, was when we did those magazines.
Wow.
It's been a while. Although I think I have done jewelry, the wire stuff.
Yeah.
I think I just went outside of my flower, so I'm going to have to pretend to draw another flower right here. Making flower edges that don't exist, guys. This doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't sleep on wool sheets either. Darla just put the link in for the rest of the hop. We do get a little bit of a break,
Okay.
but
We still have more to go, y'all.
you can find them all, T. You can go back. They're all going to stay there for a while.
Yeah. When it comes to selling beads, the way that Cousins donates their bead strands to us and what's coming in the, they've given me a sneak preview of what's coming on February 23rd. I'm really tempted to just leave it open on our website to buy beads by the strand at $2 a strand. And y'all, please don't ask me to sort them because I'm only one person. And these donations like this are absolutely amazing, but it's a lot of work. And I do live with a permanent migraine, so not every day is a good day. Well, that changes the picture, doesn't it? I feel like I want to outline his eye a little more. There, I gave him a different eye.
Darla is backstage.
Woohoo! Darla's backstage. Guess what we get to do now? Off of me and onto her. She's muted.
Okay, I've just unmuted.
Okay.
I just want to answer Marsha's question really quick. No, everybody just did a craft today, and if you go to that link, you can actually link that I posted. You can actually go and see what everybody's did today, and also our future. The ones we're going to have starting at 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, so what you're seeing here on the screen is our form that we'll go through, and it does kind of a random pick. So over on the left is all the people who participated today, and we raised a total of $325 today, so you will get half of that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click here, clear the previous winners, and then I'm going to click to select the winners. And all I have to do is click one button and we'll know who's the winner of the 50-50. So here we go. And the winner is Nancy Fraley. Congratulations, Nancy.
Woo-hoo, Nancy.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Nancy. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. $162.50 for Nancy Fraley.
Yes, and thank you.
And Darla's going to email you the winner link that you have to fill out in order to keep us legal. And it ensures that, yes, you're in the United States, and yes, you're over 21. And yes, some states could do it at 18, but we just make it 21 across the board. But that's so exciting. Oh my gosh. So what do we have next? We have a break, right? Between now and the next the next person in the hop, right?
Yes.
So does that mean we could just hang out?
We could if you want. It's totally up to you.
Well, I'm happy to just hang out. I don't know what I want to do. And I just lost my painting. I'll leave my painting there.
I could show all the newbies in here the coloring book.
Oh my gosh. You should
Wow.
see this.
Let me go get that.
So I put Jean to a challenge. Yep, dinner break till 7. You can hang with us if you want. Oh, is that right? Till 7? I thought it was till 6. Did I mess up? I don't have it open on this anymore. But now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so I gave Jean a challenge a while back. She was doing some watercolor doodles, and I said, "Have you ever seen those books where it's called reverse coloring, where it's just a whole bunch of pages that are watercolored?" And she had not, and so I described what it was and told her, "Well, let's do something like this." Well, she surprised me in yesterday's auction, and she actually did it.
Can I interrupt real quick? Did you
Yes.
see what Nancy wrote in the chat?
No, I didn't see it.
She wrote, "Care? Can I just give to dAFi?"
Are you serious, Nancy? Yes, you can. And oh my gosh,
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
that is, that is amazing, Nancy. Thank you so much. I don't even have the right words to say thank you. Just know that that's amazing. We'll message you privately in email and talk about it. And yeah, that's amazing, Nancy. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Awesome.
Wow.
So
Wow.
here's the color book.
I'm going to jump off of here. So
Thank you, Darla.
I'll be in the chat.
Thank you very much.
So I called this a watercolor doodle book instead of the reverse coloring because that's already out there,
Mhm.
and I kind of liked being different. This is inspired by Hart, painted and designed by Jean Peter. And I put a little instruction just because it was blank and I thought it needed something. This is how to use this book. Doodle on the watercolor shapes, doodle around the shapes, use the boxes on the inside back cover to practice your doodles, make notes on the inside cover, play, enjoy, and there are no rules. So I didn't want just plain, so I decided this needed lines. You can keep track of things, notes about different pages. And then this one, you can practice doodles in there or put pictures in it. Now, yours comes stapled completely. I actually trimmed them all to perfect. Well, as close to perfect as these old eyes can see. And all the pages are different. You can, like I said, you could doodle around them and just leave the colors. I think that would be really cool. And they're all different. Some of the doodles kind of look alike because there's only so many shapes you can do. This one I left this way because I think it would be really cool to just like say outline this and then bring it into a great big spiral, and I mean just kind of let it go into wherever. You got to have your little trees so we can all do happy trees. Well, because we just sold these yesterday in our auction, they are $12.
We haven't billed anybody yet, so if anybody in the box
Yeah,
wants
so if you want one, I can definitely get you on the list and you can get an invoice and we will have them going out about the same by what, Thursday, Friday at the latest.
yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it's, to me it's fun, and I had to get it out there because after I finished all of the pages, I was looking at them and saying, I got a doodle on that, I got a doodle on that, but I couldn't do it until they were made into the book. So anyway, that's my book. And it's lots of fun. It comes packaged in a little solo bag. $12 includes the shipping. So, I mean, on those that are just extra, in the auction, you pay $5 shipping for everything you bought. So that's what I did.
So what does an everyday look like for Jean Peter?
What does an everyday look like for me? First of all, let's answer the Barbara.
I just did.
Oh, if you can go in and fill the
I already answered Barbara.
okay, the bid form. That's
Mhm.
right. So anyway, what is it every day? I get up in the morning and I usually sit on the bed for about 5 minutes to get my composure. Oh, is this too much information? um, I put on my glasses and I usually get dressed. Sometimes I just put on pants under my nightgown because I like to be in my nightgown. And then um, I get about an hour of coffee and a little bit of me time on the computer. And about 9 o'clock, I start with dAFi. I answer emails. I do not work on um, Fridays and usually not on the weekends, except for when we have an activity going. I say that, but I still will come in and sometimes check my emails and, um, do little bits of things. And then it just depends upon what I'm in the mood for. I usually make kits. I almost make kits every day. And now I say kits, they're not necessarily project kits. Sometimes they are just, I got a lot of paper, so I pack it up so it looks good when it comes. And I design kits too. So I don't even know how many kits I have finished right now. I mean, it's just totally beyond me. I have no idea. I don't even want to count because I'm not going to tell you how many places they are. I can tell you that my bathroom, the master bathroom, and the kitchen do not hold anything to dAFi. Everything else probably does. Every once in a while, usually on Fridays, I do my art stuff that I want to do. This time I started my project here for my part of the hop. If you haven't seen it, this is it.
It's gorgeous.
And it's not done. It's not nearly done, but I got it done enough to get the concept out, and that was my goal. So, and I usually eat supper, and then I do sit in the evenings and either do the Viking knit or hand embroidery stuff I can watch TV with and that I hold in my hand. Otherwise, that's about the only art time I have.
Well, my day varies from day to day to day, and I do more emails and paperwork than I ever used to do. Um, and having Jean and this is the soft, unofficial announcement, but it's still official, as the executive director is what gives me the time to get all the stuff done besides the everyday dailies. And Jean does the majority of the hardest, and I still have 61 happy packers that I do every month, plus the hardest that I help her fill in doing the quarterly hardest packages. She does all of the auctions, which is their auction. I don't do any more of those. So if it's something that would normally go into a auction, it comes into our auction. I was just going to say something else with that, but the auctions are where the hardest. So it's one of my favorite programs that we ever created together. And so the hardest actually get to send in stuff, and some of them were already sending in stuff. So when I launched the program verbally, I just said, okay, anything that comes in after the moment we said we're launching the program, they're going to get credits for. And that's what happened. And so they've been earning credits it's got to be 2 years. You think we've been doing the auctions?
Almost
right?
2 years.
Almost 2 years. It's been a while.
Because we started like in the middle of the year.
Oh, okay. So almost 2 years. I love them. So they send in ATCs or hand painted items, journals, all kinds of stuff. Sadly, I lost some of it because when Hurricane Ian came through, I had a lot of their stuff in one of the boxes over by the window because I hold the auctions in my craft room. And so that was heartbreaking. Also lost all the journals that were prepped because I bring in a couple journals each auction that people have donated. And so if people donated an auction, they're like, hey, I haven't seen it. That's because I bring in a few each month. And sadly, those were by the window too that blew out. And when you have a hurricane and it blows out the window, it's not like everything just stays still. It was chaos because we had 2 windows blow out on the south side and 1 blowout in the craft room upstairs. And so the upstairs was like this vortex, and I'm still finding stuff that I thought everything was cleaned up, but I'm still finding stuff in other rooms. For instance, my iPad, which you think of as a heavy item, which was in my craft room, sitting on one of those stands that clip with it, the expanding kind of thing. It was sitting on one of those stands, and it's the 2nd floor, so it's not like I would have to go put it in a safe space. I wasn't expecting anything to happen up here. It came off the stand. It obviously swirled in the room because it's next to the door. It swirled in the room. It went out of the door, and it made a left-hand turn, and it went into another room. So, not even into the room right outside the door. So it's not like it went out, and I don't even know how that's physically possible. I understand a little bit of physics. I don't know how it's physically possible. It could be on the ground in another room. So obviously there was some crazy wind. It's not sad. It's just, thankfully it happened to someone that could handle it. There were a lot of people around me that had it way worse than I did. I live right on the river. If y'all saw how that hurricane came through, it went right up that river. And most of my neighbors had serious floodwaters. Very, very rough stuff and heartbreaking stuff. And most of my neighbors actually stayed, which must have been one of the most terrifying days of their entire life. And one of my neighbors said that she and I clearly have a halo over our houses. Because in comparison, we had very little damage. I mean, not that we had very little damage in total. There's a lot to do and still a lot to do, but nothing like our neighbors. Nothing at all like that. But anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that. It's still in my mind. So there's some things that if you've sent in a long time ago for the auctions, I mean, in April, I would love if you guys are embellishment makers and you're interested in making embellishments. I would love if you guys consider doing that and making embellishments to help us do our fundraiser for April, because we're going to change it up. We're going to have a lot of fun. We get to see all the different ways, and other people's creations inspire us to create, which is why I love the embellishment auction so much. And so if you guys are game for that, my mailing address where you mail the auction items would be here. Yep, we're all okay. In fact, we were in another state when we heard it was happening. We were in Seattle, and we flew home in time to get home. And it was as soon as our plane arrived, we started the mandatory evacuation. We had to wait until we could pick up the dog because the dog was at the vet's. That's where we board her. So we picked up the dog first thing that we could and then headed out of town. And we stayed on the other coast. I mean, obviously, we had no idea it was going to be as bad as it was for this area, but it's pretty bad. It's sad. And so I did take a lot of time off where I helped others around here, not dAFi related. And I feel lucky that we had the opportunity to be able to do that a bit. And thankfully, everyone that we know is physically safe. Sadly, not everybody was, but thankfully, everyone we know was physically safe.
Sue Brown asks, I want to know how you and Jean connected in the beginning.
So in the very beginning, I didn't know her from anyone. And she was one of the earliest people to have found. How did you find me, actually? Because you found me. You donated to.
I went to the first auction, I guess.
That is, well, no, because you had something in the first auction. I remember a bag that was hand woven that came from Jean.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Did I meet you in Shelley's?
Yeah, it had to come from Shelley's.
Because in Crafting Mamas is where I was literally coming up with the idea of how can I help everybody? And should I just keep it local or should I immediately go national? All of that conversation was happening in the box in Crafty Mama's channel. In fact, Crafty Mama is the one who came up with the idea for Wings of dAFi. She'll be on later today. I love that we met each other through her. I think that has to be where.
And she's been grooming me ever since.
Oh, yes. You know, there are some stories that Jean has where she's like, I don't think that's possible. She'll say something like that. I don't think that's possible. And I'll say, well, no, we'll figure it out. It'll happen. And then lo and behold, she'll say, yep, I can do it random now. Or whatever the challenge is that she has.
Well, I have a challenge right now, so I'm going to mute myself.
What? Okay. So you just follow her. She may not know the way, but you'll have fun. Well, you know, even the idea of the hardest being able to pick a kit. Oh, it is something that I've had as my vision for a long time. I wanted them to be able to come in and choose their things, but inventory management makes it impossible for them to go, oh, I want one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of these, because it's not like Jean and I are even in the same state. She's in New Mexico. And all of my volunteers are national. They're not local. And so picking the inventory and putting it in precisely what they wanted, that was just eventually never going to work. But I really wanted them to be able to pick it. So finally, when the idea hits of us packing the box as mindfully as we can, which is sometimes even therapeutic to pack a box, but we pack the box as well as we can. And I'll bring up the website and share my page with you guys of what some of those look like. Let me do this. And so now, finally, the way to make it happen is there. So let me go to present, and I want to share my screen. I want to share, pick your box. They changed the order of it. That's interesting. All right. So can you guys see my screen? Let me see. Can you see my screen? Yeah, you can. All right. So check this out. The hardest can come in here now. And this is what their box looks like. It's 13 by 13 by 4. And these little codes help me know which box it is in inventory, or Jean know which box it is in inventory. And so they only see what's on top. They don't get to see all the stuff that's underneath. And some of you may even see some of your own donations in here making their way into the boxes. And I just think that's the coolest thing since sliced bread, for them to be able to see the top and say, ooh, I want to try that. Or maybe someone who has absolutely no desire to ever do anything with macrame cord and beads, they get to pick a different box associated with whatever the whatever is. And once the box is picked, it gets removed from inventory. And then Jean and I add to the boxes as we pack them. And so I love it. I absolutely think it's one of the coolest things in the world. So I was thinking that it might be kind of fun. And I know we're supposed to be on break right now. And I know we have a few of you here. So why not do a little bit of a giveaway? I know we did a giveaway before. We already have a whole bunch of those going out. Oh, this is the painty box. I love the heated up box. There's so many painting supplies. That's why it's a different shape, because I needed to fit the supplies into that one. But most of the boxes are 13 by 13 by 4. But now you get to see how wild, and you should see how stuffed they are too. It's good. And then there's stuff added on top if I can make room on top of those boxes. And Jean does the same thing. So I'm going to take it off of my sharing screen and go back to my main screen real quick and show you this. All right, Jean, should we do more giveaways?
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hey. Okay, that wasn't for us, right?
Nope.
Yep. Having the box full of the supplies follows right in line with the mission, much more so than people being able to pick exactly what they want. And even though you guys are thinking, well, wouldn't people want to pick exactly what they want? Well, Yeah, probably. But when you're physically challenged or emotionally challenged and you get into a brand new craft, you actually have to think. You'll notice that some people, you know, when you eat good food and it's really, really good and everybody goes quiet at the table, it's kind of the same thing. So when you're crafting and you're trying something and you've really gone into that zone that your body just sends you into better than food, um, and where you're so focused on what you're doing that you lose that thing controlling you or telling you how much pain you're in all the time or telling you what your worries are for the next whatever. You know, your brain refocuses and you start to release those happy dopamines, and you come out of it feeling better. It doesn't even matter what your end project is. I mean, personally, I mean, yes, it's cool to paint something, but when you're done, for me, I'm done. Oh, as soon as I'm done with the project, I don't even care about it anymore and I move on, except for my one book, Emerald Journeys, but that's a whole nother thing. But you guys, if you're a crafter and you're physically or emotionally challenged, you already know this, but not everybody knows how important it is. You know, you slip away and you completely forget it. And there are a lot of us in this box right now that I've talked to that even handling. So I'm just sitting here playing with the craft supplies, right? Even handling them. And when they get that box, we have some folks who battle depression, and even getting the box, and they get that email that comes and says their box is on the way. Here's your tracking number. And they start flipping through one item at a time. It's like going to the store, you know, and they're looking through and they get to see, and oh, what am I going to do with this? Or how am I going to craft with this? What am I going to make with that? And you start to think, and you start to think about the craft itself. There's a journey that they actually bring themselves through. And in the first few months, and I'm sure Jean has noticed this as well, but when you have them for the first few months, they often spend a lot of time talking about what their challenge is. What their disability is, validating their reason to be in the program. But in the next few months, they often will move into talking about what they've tried or what they've crafted, what they've worked on or what they've made. Now, keep in mind, both of those are either talking about pain or in the past tense. But what happens next, they start talking about what they want to make, what they are making, what they do create. And then what happens next with some of them is how they want to give back. I'm telling you, it gives me goosebumps every time taking you guys through that journey. And it is, are you okay? Where,
Me?
blank and DC aft. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is like that. I saw the simple letters right there and I was just making sure Rose was okay. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
She has a keyboard that has its own mind.
Don't we all? All right, so let's do this. I have a lot of people in the box. I have a lot of amazing stuff, and I can't help but say, you know, just when I feel like, so when I first designed the concept of how we can help, it really does apply to all of the creative arts, everything from people who do ballet to people who are creative chefs, to people who are painters or jewelry makers or sculptors or paper crafters. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're creating, the actual act of creating it works for all of that. So I had to thin it down to what do I think is feasible for the long term for a nonprofit. And so I originally set it to the 3 categories, which we don't technically do it by category anymore. We now box things kind of sort of by groupings in the categories. But it was painting, paper crafting, and jewelry making. Well, the paper crafting donations came in pretty much a few months or so after I started dAFi. And my biggest jewelry donation, which I actually stretched for about 1.5 years, came from Jean Peter. It was 26 pounds of jewelry in a single flat rate box. And that was a good use of a flat rate, Jean, just saying.
Yeah.
And then I kind of sort of regretted adding jewelry making, because my gosh, that was so expensive. And then painting was always a big challenge. And so now getting those kinds of donations, those are the two donations. The paper crafting does come in. We get excited when it comes in, and you guys help keep that flowing in, and it's wonderful. Then we added, because we noticed that some of you guys are donating fabric and yarn and textile creations, and you're donating those supplies for those things. So we added that as a category. And then we noticed, and I personally am a junk journaler. I think calling it a junk journal is a disservice, because they're journals to me, like JOY, journals to me. And that became a category. And then a sixth category of like all crafts, anything you want to do. Like once we had airbrush painting stuff donated, and that came in, and it went out before we even had the auctions. But we have all different kinds of things that we give away to help people want to go create things. Well, in the top three categories, you won't believe what's happened. So we have you guys helping us with the paper crafting supplies. You guys we do the Wings of dAFi for all of the quote needs of things we know we're going to be buying shortly. And I'm about to do a shopping spree, as you guys heard in yesterday's auction, as I was throwing them out to Jean Peter there and on Thursday. And so there's a lot of things that we have to buy to finish, right? It doesn't make any sense to have charms and beads if you don't have the stringing material for them to use, that kind of thing.
I have a question in the box.
Okay.
Which person should I send to? Address and name. I will send all the Tim Holtz box. I'm in Seattle. Actually, in Seattle, it's cheaper for you to send to me.
And we'll hook you up with pirate. Well, we need to show you guys that pirate ship is the cheapest way to ship. They don't pay me to say this, but it's the truth. It cut our shipping costs in half at the same time as we doubled the number of artists we had. So the world has been magical that way. And so in this case, Jean, enter your P.O. box address. You can get that from the dAFi website real quick. If you're there. But generally, if it goes to an auction, then it comes to me, but I also take all kinds of supplies. And if it goes to artists, then it goes to Jean, but she also takes all kinds of supplies, even whether it's for auctions or artists. And I take supplies for auctions and artists, but we do try to split it where she gets more artists and I get more auction. Having her do the auctions is really hard, because she also does the auctions in the first month of every quarter, and then the majority of the shipping in the second month of every quarter, and then the third month of every quarter is when she makes the kits, and it goes in this vicious cycle. So it's pirateship.com. Here we go. And on that website, they already negotiated all the prices and all their negotiated rates. It doesn't matter if you ship as much as we do, which is thousands of dollars every year, or if you ship just $20 in a whole year, that you'll get the same price that we get. And it's way cheaper than USPS. And they have both USPS and UPS shipping options. It depends on what's available there. But let's do these giveaways. I was going to finish my story. So then right when I'm feeling helpless, I've run out of ways of getting the jewelry, then another person would make a magical jewelry donation. And then I get another person making magical jewelry donation for jewelry making supplies, or and then Dress for Success, which is a local nonprofit here, would give us the kind of jewelry that people wouldn't wear for business interviews or to business, no professional stuff. And so then they would give us the jewelry for that. And then that really dwindled. I don't know where they ended up sending those ones, but then all of a sudden, cousindiy.com. Oh my gosh. They come along. Kim finds them. Vintage Kim. She finds them. And then when they get a hold of us, they are so excited to give us stuff. They asked us to bring a trailer. And so they gave us a trailer load full, and the first time and the second time, I don't know how many times we've been there, and I'm going again at the end of this month. And so, and they are okay with us to use some of it for fundraising, and they're okay for us to use some of it for the hardest and whatever programs we deem as useful, because for them, it's their way of getting rid of miscarded items or things that whatever their buyers, because they sell to Michael's and Target, and I don't know, if it's jewelry making supplies and you buy it somewhere else, that's who they sell to. So, oof, I didn't mean to go on and on, but yeah, it's way cheaper for a single person to send with them than to use any other shipping service. But yeah, and it's, yeah, way cheaper. If you do want the newsletter, send an email to Laura if she hasn't put her email out there already. Oh, there it is. So I want to do some giveaways. And I didn't mean to go on and on about Cousin, but oh my gosh, them coming along was literally right when we needed it. And I have right now, each time I'm getting their supplies, I open up their boxes, and it's not like they're sending us crap. What you see here is the same kind of quality we're sending to the hardest. So it's not like, oh, we're going to cherry pick and we're going to, no. They actually get the better stuff than you guys do from these things. They get the handfuls, they get the bead trays, they get the best tools. And now we're out of the tools that they gave to us, by the way. So Jean buys those. But yeah, that's it's amazing what they donate. So anyway, let's do this thing. I have a lot, so don't feel sad. Please don't feel sad if you don't end up winning. But Laura, would you mind putting in a go? And I want you to just put in the word, don't put in the word go yet. I'm sorry, I should have said that first. Don't put in the word go yet. I want to do this kind of like a speed round. I'll put in the word go, and then I'll type in what question I want you to answer. Okay? I'm going to type in what question I want you to answer, and then you're going to be reading my mind. You're going to be reading my mind, because then the first person who says what I'm thinking will get it right. But we're going to do a simple one first.
Oh, you're not really thinking that, are you?
What?
You said the first person who could read your mind. I said, you're not really thinking that, are you?
Right? Woo, she got it right off the bat. So she's, whoa, shoot, that was so fast. There we go. So yes, the color of our paintbrush is green. And I know that you're going to find this wonderful, but Rose said when she made the paintbrush that she wanted the paintbrush to be like shoulders. She reshaped the paintbrush to almost be human-like. She gave it shoulders more so than any other, just grabbing. So when she created this, she is also challenged, and she is almost completely blind and created the logo. So I find it absolutely fascinating that she was able to create this. And part of the reason why the logo has these 3 colors is because we were working to identify 3 colors that even someone with very limited sight could see distinctly. So the blue and the green and the purple, those 3 colors of our logo, or the 3 colors of dAFi, that blue, green, and purple are all gathered together just to be easier for the visually challenged to see. And yeah, the hands are like giving us a hug. The butterfly is to represent that metamorphosis that we're going to continuously go and grow through, because butterflies symbolize that for me. Originally, the design had a sprout growing through, talking about growth. She had the idea of giving it a paintbrush instead, representing the art. And so she came up with the idea of the paintbrush, and now it's just synonymous with dAFi. And the reason we put dAFi in the middle with the little d and the big I is because disabled is tiny to us. We are the Artists Foundation, right? So Disabled Artists Foundation Inc. Who cares about the ink? And so the disabled is the tiny part. We are the Artist Foundation, and I love that it's easier to read that way. It's easy to see even when it's smaller that way. And I think Rose did a fantastic job years ago making, yeah, and she has a lovely digital channel where she shares free stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. Mostly blind in one and challenged in the other. I apologize for that. And I am also exceptionally forgetful. But you can imagine if you lived with a migraine day in and day out, it never goes away. It just has periods where it's less painful than others. You can imagine what that's like. Even talking today or talking during the auctions, that's hard work for me. But it's worth it for you guys and to help all the other guys to be able to craft and create and do the things that they wouldn't be able to do without all of you. It was a pleasure working together on that. It really is a beautiful logo. And she won the contest. I don't remember what the prize was, but whatever it wasn't enough. All right, so you ready for this? So I'm going to say that Sue and Ann Lover are going to get this one. I'm just going to go down the list, Jean, if you're wondering what I'm doing. And can you read it for me after after I get there? Sue Brown and Ann Lover. Who's next?
I already lost it.
Oh, you did? Okay, Sue Brown and Ann Lover. And I've got Cali B and Sharon Lombard.
Okay.
And Arlene. We'll get these three. And if you haven't filled out a bid form, I need you to do that. So Cali B, Sharon Lombard, and Arlene. Anything to get you guys crafting. Okay, who's after Arlene? Did you catch up or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Lori.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me see how many I have of something. This one will be the cupcakes, donuts, and ice cream. I think I only have 2 of these ones. So Lori and who?
Texture Junkies.
This is what she's getting. Texture Junkies. Okay. All right. Who's next?
How many you have?
2.
Susan Fresher.
Hold your britches because I forgot to put this in the bag. There we go. Susan Fresher.
Mm-hmm. And Candy.
Which Candy?
C.
Oh. These are so cool. This goes to Susan Fresher and Candy.
Cool.
They had cousins donated us boxes of charms, like boxes of them. And for the happy packers that have limited
paper in there.
Oh yeah, thank you. So there's limited dexterity, seriously limited dexterity for some of our happy packers, and so in some cases, I would go and attach little lobster claws, which I don't need them now, but I am going to need those at some point sometime soon, Jean. I have 3 for the next one. Ooh, I had 3 for the last one. I just found the 3rd one. Well, give me one more name for the last one.
Colleen.
Okay. And if you guys don't fill out the bid form, you just won't get it. That's a long time ago. I said
you need to fill it out for the 2023 if you haven't filled one out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, who's next?
How many?
I have 3.
Made by Pam.
Ooh, I've not seen your name before, Made by Pam. I am looking forward to checking out your channel. And if you don't have a channel, y'all, that's okay too.
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hot diggity. Everyone who put in a guess got a thingy. See, y'all should have put in a guess. Or maybe they gave up because it was already green. Should we do it again?
I don't know. We have 15 minutes before the next one starts.
All right, but do you see how cool this is? It's so pretty.
Ooh,
All
that
right.
is cool.
Look at this one. This one looks like it's a locket, a giant locket. Like, how does that work? Is it a locket? I don't know. I can't tell.
Colleen says, keep it, please.
Aw, will do. I got to cross that out, though. Hold on. Put these back. So what does my day consist of sometimes is actually sitting down and sorting. One of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. That's my world sometimes. I do love that, though. There's something therapeutic about it. Is there, we're going to go ahead and, yeah, it is gorgeous. That heart is gorgeous. Well, we'll just put this into the April auction. I think because I have the box for April sitting right behind me. So that's what it's going to go into. Oh, you were just putting your favorite color in? I do love. It's fine. I don't mind if you're just putting your favorite color in. Oh, one of these goes with. How am I one short? Well, you're going to go in here now.
I do too, Valerie.
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty darn good at it too.
You live in the world of one of these, one of these, one of these.
Uh-huh.
Well, Colleen, if you're interested, if you do fill out a thing, I'm happy to send it. I'm happy. A bid form, I mean, not thing. Set this off to my left.
We were asked how we got together to begin with. We've actually gotten to meet in person.
We did.
And what did we do? We made kits.
That's exactly what we did. You'd think 2 crafters or artists get together. What do? They make kits. That's tough for the hardest. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, you know, this has grown on me. I'm already okay with it. Yeah.
Sometimes it looks like a man and sometimes it looks like a woman.
You know, I think it's because this side looks like a man and this side looks like a woman.
Oh my God, you're right.
Mm-hmm. I was feeling that as I was doing it. Yeah, that's very masculine and that's very feminine.
But on the tiny screen, on the tiny screen, it looks different. And every time I look at it, I see the characteristics of a different star, TV personality. Somebody, you know, I'm not good with names to know who's who, but yeah, I just see somebody different every time I look at it.
Well, there is actually art that happens when you're creating the kits. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you know, when you're grabbing the supplies to start to create something, how amazing it feels when you're grabbing those supplies sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lori, I don't know if your bid form's up to date. If you haven't filled it out for 2023, then nope, it's not.
No, if you haven't filled it out since December 15th of 2022, then you need to fill it out again. But if you've done it since December 15th of 20, or if you've done it since the auction day in December, then you need to fill it out again, because now we have the iData program, which is inspired to say differently abled through art. And I'm excited to bring that to folks. It does help me when I make too many kits of something. So
Too many kits? Can that happen?
it does. It does. Well, I don't want to hang everybody out for so long. Let's give you guys some time back. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you all for being a part of the Hop. If you're a part of the Hop, for enjoying our 5th birthday together with us, and keep going and keep doing the Hop. If somebody could drop that link, I don't have
Laura
that.
did just a few minutes ago.
Laura, can you read? Oh, there it is. I've got it. And so go ahead and check out the Hop on the next channel in about 10 minutes. And I'll take that and I can't copy it, but you're not going to type that all out. But the link is there. Just scroll up to 5:48 Eastern Standard, or whatever your time is, 48 minutes after, and you can see the Hop there. And so love and hugs, everyone. Thank you for being a part of the day with us, and thank you for joining us in our anniversary. Take care. Bye-bye.